Did you know that watching Korean dramas can boost your emotional intelligence? A key skill for growing your business? Korean dramas are full of emotional moments that teach you how to navigate relationships, manage stress, and read people's emotions. This builds emotional intelligence, which is crucial for business. Whether it's connecting with clients, leading a team, or making decisions under pressure, understanding emotions help you build better relationships and make better choices. The problem with a lot of businessmen today is that they're very smart here. They like to read, right? They're good at numbers, they're good at marketing, they're good at sales. They know how to make decisions based on logic. But the problem is, you can't always rely on numbers. You can't always make decisions on logic. Amazon's Jeff Bezos said it best. The most important decisions he had to make with Amazon were based on heart, intuition, gut, feeling, right? Numbers take you to a certain extent, right? It's important to know your numbers. It's important to think logically. But also on the other hand, it's important to have a high EQ, because when it comes to firing or hiring employees, right? You can't just base it on numbers. You also got to understand them as a human being. You also got to be able to understand how to navigate relationships. You also got to be able to understand how to read people that are wanting to do good for you, or people that are just wanting to screw you in the ass. You got to understand how human nature works. And that's the reason why it's important to increase your emotional intelligence. Luckily, Korean dramas are here to help. And yes, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking that Korean dramas are just for women, right? A man should be watching these things, right? Freaking soap operas about love. Don't worry, I get it. You might think it's a little unexpected, but I can assure you that Korean dramas aren't just soap operas for girls. By watching K-dramas, you will develop invaluable emotional skills that will increase your emotional intelligence, which will help in return with your business. And just to give you context, I make tens of thousands of dollars online as a business owner. I owe much of my success to the inspiration I've drawn from watching K-dramas. These shows have taught me life-changing lessons, helping me live a life many dream of. I also want to be honest, they're fun to watch. In this video, I'm going to be sharing you 6 key lessons that I've drawn from watching K-dramas, which have influenced both my business mindset and also my emotional intelligence. These insights could be exactly what you need to unlock new opportunities for success. Also, make sure you pay attention to lesson 1 and lesson 3, as they've impacted my business growth the most. Lesson 1, emotional intelligence is everything. K-dramas are known for their intense emotional moments, teaching you how to love, empathize, and even how to deal with loss. As young men, we're often told to suppress our emotions, right? That only that we cry, that we gotta be strong. But the truth is, that's what makes us human. Without emotions, we're animals. Watching K-dramas has helped me better understand human emotions. Whether it's connecting with people in my personal life, reading cues when I'm doing sales calls for my business, or even making smarter business decisions. Emotional intelligence allows you to separate logic from emotion, helping you make more rational decisions when the stakes are high. Obviously, the majority of decisions as a businessman had to be made on logic, right? Data-driven decisions. But at the end of the day, you must understand how to read the room, right? You can't just rely on numbers. When you're in a sales call, right, you can't just rely on the typical Q&A questions that you have with your prospects. You also gotta understand what they're feeling. Maybe their dog just died, right? And they tell you that. But if you're basing all your decisions based on the business and not on what's affecting them at the moment, you're gonna fail. You're bound to fail. You gotta understand how to read, because human emotions, that's what drives us at the end of the day. And you know that the world doesn't move logically, right? There's a saying in the business world: people buy with emotions and later justify with logic. People buy a Rolex not because it tells the time, because what they get out of it, what they feel after showing off the Rolex. People buy a Lamborghini not because they want to drive 200 miles down the highway, because of what it represents. We gotta be able to understand human emotions, because that's what drives the world. No matter how intelligent you are here, no matter how many doctorate degrees you have, if you can't understand human emotions, you're bound to fail in business. Emotional intelligence can be applied anywhere, right? Even with your spouse, your girlfriend. If she starts crying out of nowhere, you might think logically, oh, it's because she's a woman. They're emotional creatures, right? Maybe to a certain extent that might be true. You gotta understand how to read her feelings. What have you been doing wrong these days, right? It's super crucial that if you're going to continue to evolve in life, you got to understand emotions. You can't shut them out of your life, right? A lot of these gurus out there, oh, as a man, you got to be strong, zero emotions, no crying. Brother, you need emotions to navigate life, because we're humans. That's what makes us human. Now, in regards to recommending you K-dramas that can help you with your emotional intelligence, well, to be honest, all of them. They all bring something to the table. There's not one particular K-drama that specializes in improving your emotional intelligence. Just watch a few. You're gonna learn. You're gonna get the leaps and bounds of benefits from watching these K-dramas. All right, that's the reason why I didn't use a specific example for this first lesson of emotional intelligence and everything, because all of them bring something to the table. You learn something. happen. Lesson 2, be careful who you trust. In K-dramas, there's always a massive plot twist. That's what makes them entertaining, right? The main villain usually of the series is the person you least expect. It's always usually someone close to protagonist, like the best friend, maybe the father, the brother-in-law, right? The brother. The villain's always the person closest to the main character. It's someone that you're like, what? You're the villain? You can't comprehend this. You're like, how can it be you? And this lesson is just as relevant in the business world. You have to be very careful who you consider your friends, who you consider your business partners, because ultimately they could be the people stabbing you in the back. Sometimes the people you trust the most can end up being the ones that sabotage your success. And it's always due to various reasons. For example, jealousy. Maybe you and your friend are building a business, right? You guys might not be business partners, but both of you guys have a dream to continue to prosper and grow, right? But maybe your business starts to pick up, and then your friend, he's jealous, right? He's still stuck at square one. And seeing you, right, continue to grow steadily makes him jealous, makes him want to knock you down. And then you wonder, why is business doing so bad these days? Dun dun dun. The mastermind's your friend. The one you thought that was your friend. He's the one that's defaming you, saying bad things about your business, about your product. That's the reason you gotta be very careful who you share your wins with, your losses with, secret information with, because you just never know who could backstab you. You gotta stay alert and read the room, read your friends. Think about their motivations. Why is it that they want to be your friend? What do they win with being your friend? Sadly, right, human beings aren't perfect. Human nature affects all of us, right? All of us face the same vices, greed, lust, slothness, right? All these 7 deadly sins. Some of us know how to control it, but others, that's why you gotta be very careful while navigating your day-to-day life, right? The people you count on as friends, the people that work with you. And this is a thing. A lot of you guys never really think about this. Maybe some of you guys are very cautious, but the majority of you, can you ever imagine your best friend backstabbing you? Probably not. That's the reason why it's important sometimes to watch Korean dramas, to remind you of the things that could happen, right? Of these plot twists, right? That you never imagined could have happened in your life. Like a very good example is Squid Game. And just to give you a quick rundown of what Squid Game is about, it's basically a game show where contestants are all fighting for a grand prize of money. The problem is only one person can win that. What happens to the people that lose in this game show? Well, they die. They literally die. So it's a very dark Korean drama. And one of the contestants is a wimpy old grandpa. Nobody pays attention to him. He's like the wink link. Everybody ignores him. They're like, this guy's probably gonna be out, right, in the first part of the game. Right? Because this guy looks like he's weak. He's like a pushover. And then you find out at the end of the whole game that this guy is like the main overall mastermind of this game show. And you're like, what the? You just couldn't imagine this. So remember, you gotta be careful who you trust. Lesson number 3, always prepare for the unexpected. In K-drama, no matter how big the city is, take for example Seoul, which has about 12 million people, the main character always runs into the person he least expects. And it's always coincidentally the main character encountering the villain. Take for example the main character wanting to go to the mall. Oh no! The villain's there. Take for example, the main character wants to go to the cafe. Oh no, the villain's there as well with some other side chick. It's like these coincidences. It's also applicable to the real life. Sometimes the unexpected happens, right? Even if you don't wish it to happen, it just happens. And the good thing is that this can work 2 ways. It can be your biggest enemy or somebody you needed to meet, right? Maybe that person that could have invested in your business, right? You're hoping for a golden opportunity for you guys to coincide and meet. Boom, you meet him. Right? So it could work both ways. You meet your mega villain of your life, or the person you really needed to meet the most, right? Somebody you needed. So it works both ways. And I've seen dozens of Korean dramas at this point, right? And they all have that in common, right? Those shocking plot twists of, oh my God, right? The villain's in the same place as the main character. How did this happen, right? These coincidences. And this has helped me be a bit more prepared in my life. Just because just seeing this firsthand over and over and over again, right, has really influenced me in my personal life. I'm like, wait, what if this happens to me? Or maybe it's an opportunity that may arise. That's the reason I'm always prepared, always dressed nice, right? Make sure I'm going out, right, giving the best of myself. Because you just never know who you're gonna meet. Lesson number 4, appearances matter. K-dramas in part reflect reality, right? Whenever I'm watching the Korean dramas, it's always the ugly people, I guess the people that are born with undesirable traits that are just bullied and ignored, and really they're just ghosts, right? They're just NPCs in the dramas, and it's always the person that's tall, handsome, charming, dresses well, right? That gets all the girls, right? That wins in life. Maybe in part this is a reflection with life as well, and it's a sad reality that happens, right? There's discrimination. There's discrimination in life, as in K-dramas. But that doesn't mean that you gotta look like a K-drama protagonist, right? To win in your business, to grow your business. It's all about how you present yourself, your confidence, your grooming, your energy definitely influence how people perceive you. Whether in business or in your life, the effort you put in your appearance can be a huge factor in your success. I know it might be easy to be lazy, right? Maybe not do your hair, or dress sloppily, whatever it is. But reality is people judge you. First impressions really matter. If people see you all sloppy, right? That's a first impression people have of you. This guy's a sloppy individual, but maybe you really aren't. Maybe you're a very tidy person, but that day, right, when you met that person, it just happened to be that your hair, right, was hit by a freaking bird poo, and then you got all stressed out, you tried fixing your hair, you went to that meeting. Shit, bad first impression. First impressions really matter. It's just a sad reality. That's the reason why whenever you're going out to a business deal, right, when you're ever getting on a sales call, to make sure that you're in top shape, you gotta make that first impression count. There's this K-drama I really want you guys to watch, which really reflects the sad reality of how appearances matter, because it really matters more than we think. It's called Love Alarm, right? It's basically like an app, like think of it as Tinder, right? But instead of you swiping, it gives you like a 10-meter radius around you, right? Whenever people come inside your radius, it indicates to you if somebody likes you or not, right? And it's usually in this drama that the people that are most handsome, tallest, right, they know how to dress well, people that are winning everybody's hearts, right? But then there's people that are, I guess, less desired, right? Maybe a little shorter, and maybe they don't know how to dress well, right? Well, it's evident that they're not getting a lot of people that are liking them, right, hearting them. So this shows the reality of how life works, right? We can't control human nature. We can't control who we like. First impressions really matter. Sadly, some people have advantages when it comes to this. Thankfully, well, I guess I'm one of them to a certain extent, right? Because I was born with good genetics. I'm over 6 feet, I have blue eyes, I'm tall. Maybe you can say light skin is a desirable trait when it comes to like Korean dramas. At the end of the day, I play with my strengths. But other people, maybe the strengths is dressing well, speaking well, right? Those are things I gotta improve on. So we all are born with different strengths, different advantages, but we gotta play with what we have, the cards that we're dealt, but try to improve our odds at life, because we have to, right? Because first impressions really matter. Lesson number 5, sometimes you have to accept that you have lost. In K-dramas, the people you never wanna be are the supporting characters, because they're often involved in love triangles. It's a supporting character, the main character in love with like this beautiful girl. The main character always wins and has his happily ever after. Also, the supporting character usually has dreams, never ends up accomplishing them. It's heartbreaking seeing how the supporting characters never get what they want. It's always the main character. The supporting character always has to accept it, right, as a reality, something that he can't fight. It's heartbreaking seeing the sad reality supporting characters face. Sometimes you have to accept defeat, learn from it, and move on. In business, not every deal will go your way. Not every project will succeed, and not every partnership will work out. It hurts, but you have to learn how to let go, pivot, and keep moving forward. There's a Korean drama that I really recommend that really outlines, I guess, this lesson of sometimes you have to let go, right? That you gotta set failure. It's called My Demon, and there's a love triangle. It's between these two guys, polar opposites, and this main woman lead. Okay, she's like the owner of this mega corporation. She's very young, but she's in charge of this mega corporation. There's a love triangle. On one end is a guy that she grew up with. The guy was always shy, never told her what he felt, right? He grew up with her, admiring her from afar. But now this new guy came out of nowhere, which is like a demon devil, you can say. Due to a series of events, right now they depend on one another. Devil and the main woman lead. After interacting with one another for many times, you can say, because they depend on one another, they fall in love with one another. This other guy, right, that grew up with her, adoring her from afar, right, finally got the courage, I guess you could say due to jealousy from just seeing the main woman lead with this other demon, just the interactions, he got jealous and let her know how he felt, but it was too late. The main woman lead fell in love with this devil, you can say, and they lived there happily ever after. And it was just very sad just seeing this guy that was adoring her from afar just lose, right? There was nothing he could do. He couldn't change the destiny. It was too late. And this is a very common thing with a lot of Korean dramas. There's always like this love triangle. It's always like the main woman lead, and there's this main character and this other side character. The side character and the other main guy, they both love the woman, right? But only one of them can win, right? And it's always a supporting character that loses, right? It's a Korean drama. The main protagonist always wins. And it's just very sad just seeing this reality, because you can see the pain the supporting characters face with rejection, but they just have to accept it. Right? You can see their tears of not wanting to move on, but they have to, just because they know it's a failed deal, right? They can't continue to stress over it. And as a business owner myself, I can visualize this in my business. Maybe a business deal didn't go through. It's just, you have to accept it. You can't just stress over it, because better things usually happen, right? It's always the same case with the supporting characters. Although they face this failure of not getting the girl they want, but usually something better happens. Like in this case, he became in charge of the mega corporation because the main female lead didn't want to take care of the corporation anymore. So the supporting character got it. So usually better things happen. There's always pain that happens in life. Things might not go your way, but just because things don't go your way today doesn't mean you won't get what you want in a year, right? Lesson 6, don't forget to take time off. As a business person, or maybe you're an entrepreneur, the grind never stops. You're always working 24/7. So 7 days a week, maybe 100 hours a week, right? You're always working. You're always stressing about having to make ends meet, right? Making sure you're paying your employees on time or growing your business. It's not easy. This life that we chose. There is always work to be done, goals to be met. But one thing that Korean dramas have taught me is to have balance in my life. You can't work 24/7 without burning out. Work isn't all there is to this life. You gotta enjoy it. We only live once. You need time to relax, recharge, and disconnect from the stress that comes with the hustle. I watch tons of Korean dramas, and they're usually never business related. It's always a topic that we as businessmen would look down upon. It's usually some rom-com soap opera. It's a main character, he's new to the school, he falls in love with like this super popular chick, but the problem is the popular chick doesn't like him, but due to serious misunderstandings, they fall in love, right? It's usually a typical, like, the plot of every Korean drama, right? It's always some lovey-dovey story. And although it's not the most inspirational watch for a businessman, it's always important to let the brain relax a bit, right? You can't just be watching educational content all the time, content that's gonna inspire you, take your business to the next level. You gotta let loose for a bit, right? Because your brain's constantly stressed. You give it no time to recharge. And also the benefit you get from watching Korean dramas is you start to ask yourself, what would my life be if I would have chosen a different route? And it could either reinforce you to continue to work harder in your current business, or maybe choose a different route altogether, because we only live once, right? It's nice watching Korean dramas, right, and be in the shoes of the main character, right? Because every main character has a different story, a different ending. Whenever I watch a high school K-drama, right, I'm in the shoes of the main protagonist, a high schooler, right, with a different dream than I did. And you root for the main character, and also in a way, it inspires you, right, to continue pushing forward, right? Because every Korean drama, right, the main character goes through this like obstacle to overcoming the obstacle, right? In the very beginning, he's usually like puny, doesn't get what he wants, but at the end of the day, he gets everything he wants. So there's always like this happily ever after. And just watching a ton of these Korean dramas, right? It's just not only entertaining, but like gives you different perspectives to life. Being able to see the different main protagonists achieve their goals in different sectors, and then me coming back to my business, I'm like, yeah, I want to be like the main character. I also want to achieve greatness with what I want to do. In conclusion, Korean dramas aren't just about entertainment. They offer valuable lessons that can transform your business mindset and also increase your emotional intelligence. The insights you get from Korean dramas can not only help you navigate your business life, but also your personal life more effectively. So remember, if your buddy starts making fun of you for watching Korean dramas, block him. He's not your friend. He's plotting against you.